What is up, everyone? I hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome back, welcome back. So in this one, I'm going to be doing another CSS battle, and more specifically, I'm really interested in doing number 47, which is called Coronavirus. But I thought this one looked pretty nice, and I just wanted to say whoever is actually submitting these pieces of art for us to kind of challenge ourselves against, we really appreciate it, so thank you so much. This one looks pretty easy, so let's just try to dive into it. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to do the same thing I do in every video. I'm going to try to center this circle. So let's just go ahead and first of all add a class of circle here. And inside the style, I'm going to say body and just clear out the stuff. I'm going to say position. So actually I'm going to say display of flex, justify content of center, and align items of center. So that should center everything. And now we actually need to style that circle. So let's go ahead and give it a background of that, maybe a width of 100 pixels and a height of 100 pixels, and then give it some rounding to make it a circle. So I can say border radius 50%. So if we kind of compare what we got against what we are trying to get, looks like it's pretty close. I think it's accurate. So let's move on to the 3 spikes that are kind of going through the virus, I guess I should say. So inside of the circle, I'm actually going to nest some of those lines. So I'm going to say div class of line A, and I'm going to go ahead like that. And I'm going to go ahead and style that. So I could say line A. That's going to be a width of maybe 20 pixels, height of 150 pixels. And it's not showing up because I need to give it a background color. First thing you'll notice is that it's a little bit off. It needs to be more centered. So I could say left is like what, 50% or 50 pixels maybe. And I probably also need to give it a position of absolute, and that's going to mess up where it is. But I think what I actually want to do instead is put on the circle, if you add a position relative to the circle, that'll make everything that's nested inside of it positioned based on the circle's top left coordinates. So that makes us a little bit closer to where we need to be. One thing you'll notice is that the width is way too big, so let's make it 10. And then we need to move it up some. So if I say negative 10 pixels, 30, 40... Let's see. All right, let's try to align it correctly with the X direction. So I'm gonna move it over to the left by 5 pixels and see if we're there. And that actually looks good. Now the Y direction, we're off by a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to round the top left and top right corners. Actually, I think I should just say border radius of 10 pixels and see if that gets us in a closer position. I'm gonna zoom in because this is really hard to see. All right, so our line A probably needs to be a little bit higher. So I'm gonna try 190. That's too much. I'll try 180. And then it probably needs to be moved up 10 pixels. So I'm gonna say top of negative 50. And there you have it. That looks like that's pretty good. So we basically gonna follow the same process for the other lines. I'm gonna make a line B. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. And we are going to rotate it some. So I think I could say transform rotate of 90 DEG. And that is not what we want. We want maybe 45. No, 60? I think 60 is closer. And I think we just need to move it to the left a little bit. So I'll move it over 5 pixels. And then probably need to move it down some. So if I add more to that looks good, but maybe the height needs to be 190. I think the height was actually good at 180, but it's not. It needs to be moved over a little bit more, so I'll say 60. And that looks like it lines up okay. This one's going to be hard to position correctly. Ours is, yeah, I'll do 55 instead. Let's see if that lines up okay. That looks better. We're still off by a little bit. I think ours is lower than what it needs to be, so I'm going to move it up 5 pixels. That looks pretty good. What do y'all think? I think it looks pretty good. All right, let's move on to the next line. I'm going to say line C. And again, just copy and paste all this stuff, because I don't care about making it as minimal as possible in terms of characters. I just want to make this cool little artwork. So for line C, I think I'm just going to take the same line we just did and maybe rotate it again, maybe negative 60 degrees. and that actually worked pretty good. So I can move it down some, negative 40, negative 45, negative 40. So 45 gets it there, which is too high, so I need to make it lower. So negative 50, my bad, negative 40, negative 35. There we go, I think I got it. Negative 35, and that actually lines up perfectly over there. Cool, I think we are almost there. Now we gotta add these like 3 little... I failed biology, I don't know, I don't know what these things are called. The nucleus of a cell, the RNA of a virus. If you guys are smarter than me in terms of biology, let me know what those things are, but I'm gonna call them little freckles. So we got 3 little freckles we gotta add. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say freckle A. Did I spell it right? Freckle with an L-E. I can also not spell. English is not my strong point. All right, so freckle A is going to be very similar to the circle. So let's just go ahead and copy that styling, paste it in, but we need to change the background color to be this. And that is way too big, so let's change it to like 40. That looks like it might be too big, so let's do 30. I'm trying to do the big freckle over here, okay? So let's move it down some. We'll say position of absolute. We can say top of 50 pixels or 40 pixels and left of 30 pixels and see where that lines up. So right now, and how did I get my mouse to stay on it last time? I was like able to like change code. You click it. Anyway. Oh, I know what I did. You just use your keyboard. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is hover my mouse over what I want, and then for top, I'm gonna just move it up some, move it up some. That looks like it lined up okay. And then for left, we could say 25 and see how that looks. So that's almost there, but not really. 30 is too much, 20 is perfect. We did it. So let's add freckle B. Freckle B is going to be identical to freckle A, but it looks like it's maybe half the size. So I could say 15 and 15. No, maybe 20 and 20. Probably more 20, 20. And I can just basically move it over to the left some. So I'm gonna hover my mouse over this one, and then I'm going to basically just keep moving it over until we figure out exactly where it needs to be. So I'm gonna guess 40 is pretty good. And then for top, move it down some, 55. Nice. I found a new technique today. It took me like 12 different CSS battles, but I found a new technique to quickly... Oh no, I need to change it to freckle B. I was styling the wrong thing. All right, but we're on a good path. I mean, we just need to do the last one here. And we'll do freckle C. And the technique is, this is probably 10 by 10. And we could just hover over what we want here. And then in the code, I'm using my keyboard arrows. I'm gonna go ahead and just move that over to 70. That looks really good. I'll move it up to 30, 20. There you go. There you have it. All right, so I'm gonna go to the body now, and I'm just gonna say background of that. I usually start with changing the background color. I don't know why I didn't do this time, so my bad. But I think that, all right, so I mean, I am seeing some flashing, but maybe it'll line up and be perfect. So let's just go ahead and submit this. And it's not matching up 100%, so whatever. All right, this one was pretty cool. So if you enjoyed watching me do this one, I mean, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll probably do another one soon in the future. So later all, happy coding.